Hi, everyone. My name is Allison Grosz. I'm a partner and an attorney with Hemrick O'Malley, PLLC here in New York City. Last time we talked about consular non-reviewability, and we talked about a recent Supreme Court decision that unfortunately upheld consular non-reviewability. Now, this Supreme Court decision only reiterates the importance of paying attention to what is happening at a consular interview. So today I want to talk about what to do immediately after you are done with having your consular interview, whether or not your consular interview was for an immigrant visa or a non-immigrant visa. Recall in prior videos that we've talked about what is the difference between an immigrant and a non-immigrant visa. So at consular interviews, you undergo an interview with a consular officer who asks you questions about the reasons for your visa application, be it an immigrant visa or a non-immigrant visa. They go over your reasons for why you want to travel to the United States, what the purpose of your travel is, whether it's for employment-based, whether it's for tourism, whether it's for family-based, and so on and so forth. So what's really important to take place at a consular interview immediately afterwards, it's easy to forget what happened. So what I always recommend people do is if you have an attorney, contact your attorney right away. Let them know how it went. Go over with your attorney the questions that were asked and what your answers were. If you don't have an attorney, or if you can't get a hold of your attorney, or you just want to do this on your own, of course, you should write down as much as you can remember. What exactly did the consular officer ask you? How did the consular officer respond or react to your answers? And what were your answers? You're going to find that this is extremely helpful going forward in the future, because even if you have a positive outcome of your consular interview and your visa is granted and you come to the United States, it's always good to know in the future to remember and recall what took place at your interview, because if you want to get a future visa for any reason, be it inside of the United States or again outside of the United States, then that prior consular interview can always be held against another application that you make, meaning they can compare the two and ask you in future interviews with USCIS or again at the consulate what your answers were and why you answered that way. That's why I always say it's best to do it while it's fresh in your mind. We recommend that people do this immediately because the importance of outcome at consular interviews is so important. The reason being is you can't really fight the outcome of a consular interview to a certain extent, as we talked about in my last video, when it comes to consular non-reviewability. But what you can do is always apply for various waivers that you might be eligible for if you have a negative consular decision, or if you do get a positive consular decision and you decide to go forward, you might be asked questions in the future inside of the United States about your consular interview, and you need to be able to answer clearly and with positive recollection. So with that being said, these are our recommendations for what people should do immediately after a consular interview and the reasons why you should do them. I look forward to answering anybody's questions that they have about their consular interviews, about different kinds of waivers that may be available to people for negative decisions that they may receive on consular interviews, or for any other immigration matters. You can feel free to find us online at hemrick.law, or you can contact us by phone at 833-848-7838. And until next time, I always look forward to talking to everyone then.